All right, y'all. Episode 0, our story. So in 2019, I decided as a 23, 24-year-old to start Charlotte's Kitchen. I had a passion, for some reason, to want to start a food truck. I just didn't know what to serve on that food truck. So I started out of a small commercial kitchen on the west side of town that was connected to a bar, and we just started serving whatever we could to the bar patrons as we tried to figure out what would stick and what the bar patrons liked and what we could then bring to the food truck. We struggled. Honestly, we did struggle really hard those first 6 months in business. About 3 months in the business, we were broke. We didn't realize how expensive it was gonna be to start this up, and we didn't have enough cash to keep the business going. So in month 3, we had no money in the bank account and a $1,500 check that needed to be written for rent, and another $500 check we needed to write to buy more food for that week so we can continue to serve and test at the commercial kitchen. So I did what any kid would do. I called my mama and I said, Mom, I need some help. We're broke. I can't continue to go. Is there any chance you can write a check for $2,000? And she was nice enough, as a great mom, and to believe in her son, like most moms do, to write that check, knowing, and I told her, if this doesn't work out, I'll work my butt off to get that $2,000 back to you. So she wrote that check. We were able to continue to work for our dream of creating a food truck in the Des Moines area here. But I knew that if I didn't figure it out soon, that this dream was gonna have to be put on hold because we couldn't continue to borrow money. We couldn't continue to go the way we were. Well, lucky enough, 1 month later, Chick-fil-A and Popeye wars started happening across the country. They started selling out of chicken sandwiches. And I was like, I don't think there's a fried chicken sandwich food truck in Des Moines. So I started searching around, asked all the other food truck owners and restaurant owners that I knew, and sure enough, there wasn't one. So I put my head down, spent about 6 months, just grinding on a fried chicken recipe while testing on the bar patrons and selling whatever food I could to those bar patrons to pay rent. So we basically made zero money, but we were able to get by for 6 months as I continued to test that and I continued to test other foods so I could pay my bills at the bar. Well, after 6 months, I got what I thought was a really good fried chicken sandwich recipe, but I came in with a business background, not a food background. So I had to call my buddy Robert, who was a culinary science major. I said, Rob, man, I need some help. I said, I can't spend another 6 months trying to make the best sandwiches now. I said, I think I got that fried chicken, but I need some help with the sandwiches. So he was currently brewing, making good money for another company, and somehow, some way, I convinced the man to quit his job, and he came over and helped me at the hall and came up with some really good fried chicken sandwiches. And then a couple months later, I was able to convince a crazy investor in town here that I had known for the last couple years when I was bartending to help pay my own bills that was willing to roll the dice with us and give us a check to buy a food truck. May of 2020, we opened the food truck. Boom, COVID hits Iowa. We're kind of freaking out. Thank goodness food trucks actually probably became a little more popular during COVID because it was outdoors. We were blessed enough to have a really good first summer of our food truck operating, had some really good feedback, continued to tweak on our recipes and our sandwiches. And then in February of 2021, we got the ability to open up our first brick and mortar location here in Johnston. We started out drive-through only because COVID was still happening, so there was no reason to do dine-in. We opened up drive-through in 2021. We did extremely well. Again, lucky and blessed to do really well. Right when we opened, we had a line wrapped around Casey's. It did not go smooth, I'll tell you that. We can get into that more in the future, but that first month was a huge learning curve because none of us had full-time experience in a fast casual brick and mortar restaurant. I had zero experience in a kitchen at all. So spent a month doing that, fixing and tweaking. And then a year later, in late 2022, so a little over a year later, we opened up our second spot in Indianola, Iowa. 7 months now, it's been going really well. We're extremely blessed. 27 years old now. Robert and I are the same age. We still have the food truck, but we franchised it. We have some great franchisees, Brian and Stephanie, that run it here locally, and they do an amazing job representing Charlotte's Kitchen. I mean, that's our story. So blessed that we've had the chances we've gotten and that we've had so many people willing to help us out through this whole process. I mean, we could not have done this without our friends and family, without our crazy investor, Jeff, without Chad helping come out here when stuff broke down, without the support of the community. I mean, we are truly honored and blessed to have the support we've gotten since day one. And we've put a lot of hard work into creating Charlotte's Kitchen to what it is today. The main part of this series will be just to talk about my experience as a 27-year-old restaurant owner and what I've learned and what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for us, or what we've had to change to make it into a better restaurant. So that's the point of the series. I just want to tell my story so you guys could understand where we started and where we got to and help connect with us better. So like, subscribe, follow this YouTube channel. Peace.